Abdul here for Behind the Gloves. I'm with Josh Warrington, IBF World Champion, ahead of his fight with Frampton next Saturday. Josh, how are you feeling going into this fight?
Yeah, feeling good. Yeah, feeling good. Had a good camp as always. Yeah. Mentally, very good place. Physically, I don't know if you've seen pictures on social media. I'm in some good shape. Been sparring the 12 rounds very easily. With sharpness, last 10 days to go, and we're ready for tonight.
Yeah, we saw the documentary that came out, and you expressed a lot of emotion in that. You know, talking about just before the fights, you know, how you see your wife before you go out, and for this fight, do you think there's that extra emotion or anything you've not felt before that you know that you can feel coming on before the fight?
No, probably not. Once again, I'm like an underdog, so that takes a lot of pressure away from me. And you know, beforehand the fight with Lee, it felt like my career were riding on that. Yeah. You know, because we'd had a rivalry going on for some time. We're fighting in my backyard at Ellen Road. You know, it's something I'd talked about in a lot of interviews. So I think there was a lot of emotional attachment there, especially with my kids just being born as well. But I don't feel no emotional pressure this time around. It's just like, don't get me wrong, the fire's there to go in there and beat him up, but I don't feel like I say, it's not
more relaxed.
Yeah,
would you say?
Really relaxed. Yeah, I mean, winning fights and going up levels brings confidence, and that's what I feel like now. I feel like I'd beat anyone in the world. I really do feel like that.
Would you say you're approaching the peak of your career, or is there something?
I'd say yeah, I think so. I think so. You know, you look over my records and my strength conditioning, my running, my sparring. You know, throwing more punches than ever. You know, at the same time, more thinking, more cultured, more like boxing, more. Yeah. And I don't know. I'm just feeling in a real good place in the gym, out the gym. You know, mentally. So I'd probably say peak years.
Carl Frampton, obviously, a couple of years older than you. He's got a couple of years probably more experience in the boxing game. You know, he's fought over in America and whatnot. Do you think that's any sort of advantage he may have over you?
Yes and no. Yeah, because he's used to the big nights. But then again, my last 7 fights have been in Leeds and have been main event, and that brings a lot of pressure. All right, he's been with the bigger opponents, but your next fight should always be the fight with the most pressure on. Don't matter who you're fighting. I could be fighting bloody Mickey Mouse in my next fight. I'd still be thinking that's the biggest fight because it's the next person who's stopping you from where you want to go. And ultimately, when I beat Carl, where to go from there? You know, he's got to be looking at me as like, I've got to beat Josh Warrington, because if I don't, where do I go? Yeah. You know, so you know, all that experience is good to a certain extent, but ultimately, I'm stood in front of him.
Well, speaking to Carl earlier today, it was quite judgmental on your last few, well, not last few, but some of your performances. One being the Kiko Martinez fight. He always says that he thinks he didn't win it. Right. And the Lee Selby fight, which he did give you credit for in terms of, you know, your performance, but he said Lee was looked malnourished and the weight and all that. So, you know, I was just thinking, is that something you think he genuinely thinks that he can have a mental warfare over you? Or?
I don't know. I think if he'd have said all this stuff with 12 weeks to go when we first did the press conference, then I'd take note of it. But
would you say there's
now it's 10 days out? I think he's just
trying it.
Yeah, he's trying to say whatever. You know, people, it's quite well known in boxing that Leo Santa Cruz had a lot going on in his first fight with Carl, in terms of his preparation and his dad being ill and stuff like that. I didn't drop that one, did I? Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, he can think what he wants. I would downplay my achievements, but there's no need for him to be like a little baby. And the day we're going to fight, and he's shown respect up until now, 10 days to go. Why is he changing it now? For me, I don't think he's at the right place. Yeah. So
would you? Well, he's obviously had 2 solid performances, you could say. How did you rate them?
Did what he had to do, didn't he? Yeah. I mean, I wasn't screaming and dancing about that Nate Danair performance. Yeah. So, Nate Danair's as old as my nana. You know, no, let's be right. It probably seemed better days, and Carl did what he had to do to beat him. But Luke Jackson won. I mean, when I kind of maybe bought into Jackson's hype a little bit, but when I seen him get into the ring, man, he looked like a super bantam. Yeah. He looked tiny, and I expected Carl to maybe get the job done a little bit sooner than he did. But you know, at the end of the day, you can only fight what's put in front of you. So he got the job done. Now it's on to me.
Obviously, fighting in your hometown, fighting in the stadium, winning that world title, would you say that's the biggest night, or would you compare it to this? Because obviously it's probably a bit more of a, like, you know, harder fight.
It's certainly a bigger profile fight. You know, Carl's a massive name. It's going to be streamed all over the States. And yeah, like big one just before Christmas. So it's certainly probably the biggest one to date. Yeah.
All right, well, all the best for Saturday night, and then we'll catch you really soon.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do so by clicking this icon right here and hit the bell button so you can get notified every time we upload a new video. And we also have a free app available on iTunes and Google Play, so make sure you go and download that. Bye Fight fans.